So, I'm going to attempt to explain how my Tentacle sync devices connect to my cameras, number 1 and 2. So, and how I can sync the tentacles and hence the cameras via my Tentacle app. So, the cameras have their own internal clock, time code clock, and in theory I would be able to sync the cameras to each other, but the internal clocks of the cameras are not good enough for a full production day. They will drift and will not be in sync, and then that will defeat the purpose of timecode. So my timecode devices, for example Tentacle sync, or Syncy, they have a very good internal clock. So if I sync these two clocks, then they will stay in sync the whole day, and they can then provide the correct time code to the cameras. And to sync the Tentacle devices, the timecode devices, I use the app. So if I start my devices, I start them with a long press on the device itself, and when it turns green, that means that it is set up to deliver timecode. So it's delivering timecode to the camera. The camera needs to be set up for timecode in, so it's receiving timecode. It's obeying the timecode that is delivered to the timecode port. So this needs to be done on both cameras. Timecode in is timecode setting is set to in, and the two devices here, the two timecode devices, are set to deliver timecode, which is then the green LED. And once this is running, I can connect my app to the two devices and sync them. And then what I usually do is I sync them to the time of day that the phone delivers. So all well and done. Once this is done, then the timecode devices continuously provide accurate timecode to the cameras. The camera's own internal clocks are not in operation, but the timecode shown in my monitor and the timecode is written to the file when I'm recording is the timecode of the timecode device instead. The timecode devices can also read timecode. So if I have, let's say this camera has a timecode and I want to use this timecode. So the timecode of the internal clock of this camera, for some reason I want to use that. This could also of course be another device with a good timecode clock that does not drift. So if I could in theory collect this timecode, and I do that by putting my timecode device, the Tentacle sync, I put that in read mode. So that is I slide the slider until I can see the red LED light, and then this is set in receive mode. And once it has received the timecode, it turns green. Then it turns to deliver mode again. So it's only checking in once. So it's only reading once the timecode of this device, and then it switches itself to deliver mode again. And I put this one in deliver mode, and when this one turns into deliver mode, I can then turn my I switch to my device, or I can, if I want to deliver this timecode back to this camera again, I put this camera in mode again. So when I want to deliver from my C70, for example, if I want to deliver the timecode that's already running from my camera into the Tentacle sync, I put this device in out mode. So that is delivering its own internal timecode clock to the timecode port. I put this one in receive mode, which is red blinking, And once this is done, the timecode device switches to deliver again. So then it's trying to deliver, and the camera is also trying to deliver. So I need to switch this camera to in, and then it's obeying the timecode from the Tentacle sync that I just synced this way. Now I'm syncing this way, but now I can sync these two with the original timecode of the C1 via the app, and now both cameras are synced and won't drift. So this is the way it works. So in normal setting for me, I have two cameras, and I also have a trackie, which is the recorder that I have for a lav mic. I just turn the devices on for delivering, which is a long slide on the slider, on all three devices, also on the trackie, and then I sync all three devices in the app, so they are all on the same, they're all synced up with the timecode. These two devices deliver to my cameras. The cameras are set to in, timecode in, and now I have the same timecode written to this material, to this material, and to this material. I think this was super confusing to start with, and I would say I don't think there is a possibility that this device can continuously deliver timecode to the Tentacle sync and then this transmits further. This is not how it works. So you can sync it once, and this is obvious since the receive mode instantly gets switched to deliver mode once timecode is received in my second scenario. However, this is the usual workflow for me is just starting them all up in deliver mode and syncing them via the app, and then I'm good to go, and my 3 or 4 devices are synced with the timecode. Hope this was helpful. Good luck with your syncing.